Tonight, you climb into bed. The lights are off. Your alarm is set. Tomorrow matters. You know you should sleep, but before you do, you unlock your phone, just for a minute. A few videos, a few posts, a few messages. Nothing crazy, nothing unusual, nothing that feels important. Every night, for years. And if you keep doing this until age 35, you may wake up one day realizing your brain has been trained into becoming someone you never intended to be. Not because you were lazy, not because you were stupid, because you never realized what was actually happening. Let's see where this road goes.
Day 30. 30 days pass. You check your phone in bed every night. Nothing dramatic happens. No warning signs. No disaster. You still go to work. You still go to school. You still function. But tiny things start changing. You find yourself reaching for your phone during moments that used to be empty. Waiting in line, eating alone, sitting in a taxi, walking somewhere, even using the bathroom. Silence begins to feel uncomfortable. Not painful, just strange. Your brain starts expecting stimulation, constantly. Meanwhile, something else happens. Your attention becomes slightly weaker. Not enough for friends to notice, not enough for family to notice, just enough for you to read the same paragraph twice, just enough for your mind to wander during conversations, just enough to make deep focus feel slightly harder than it used to. You don't connect these changes to bedtime scrolling, almost nobody does, because the effects arrive quietly, one tiny adjustment at a time, and your brain adapts. It always adapts. That's its job.
Year 1. 1 year later, you still check your phone every night. Now, the habit feels automatic. You don't decide to do it, you simply do it. The same way people brush their teeth, the same way people lock their doors. The habit has moved underground, and that's when habits become powerful, because now they operate without permission. Something else has changed too. You consume far more information than ever before. Thousands of videos, thousands of headlines, thousands of opinions, thousands of moments. You know more facts, more trends, more news, more drama, more everything. Yet somehow, your ability to focus on one thing for a long period of time feels weaker. You start a book, you stop. You start a course, you stop. You open a project, then check your notifications, then open another tab, then another, then another. Your brain isn't broken. It's adapting to what you've repeatedly asked it to do. Rapid switching, constant novelty, short bursts, quick rewards, fast stimulation. Your brain becomes efficient at exactly what you practice, and every night you're practicing distraction.
Year 5. Now let's split reality. Two versions of you exist. Same age, same intelligence, same opportunities, same starting point. The only difference is what happened during the final hour before bed. Version A keeps scrolling. Version B protects that hour. Nothing extreme, no monk lifestyle, no productivity obsession, just one protected hour. 5 years later, the gap becomes visible. Version A consumes. Version B creates. Version A watches people build things. Version B builds things. Version A constantly feels busy. Version B makes measurable progress. Version A struggles to sit with boredom. Version B uses boredom to think. And here's the uncomfortable part. The difference isn't talent. The difference isn't genetics. The difference isn't luck. The difference is attention. Because attention is the foundation underneath everything else. Learning, relationships, work, creativity, problem-solving, decision-making, all of it begins with attention. And while one version of you spent years training attention, the other version spent years fragmenting it. Neither choice felt important on any individual night, but 5 years of tiny decisions eventually become impossible to ignore.
Year 10. You were 35. This is where most people expect some dramatic collapse. That's not what happens. The reality is more subtle, and because it's subtle, it's more dangerous. You wake up one morning and realize your brain feels different. Not damaged, different. Reading a long book feels unusually difficult. Sitting alone with your thoughts feels uncomfortable. Deep work feels exhausting. You constantly crave something, a notification, a message, a video,
a refresh, a stimulus, a hit of novelty. The moment life becomes quiet, your hand starts moving toward your pocket almost automatically. You've spent 10 years teaching your brain that every gap should be filled, every pause should be interrupted, every moment of boredom should be eliminated, and now boredom feels unbearable. But boredom was never the enemy. Boredom was the doorway. Most breakthroughs happen after boredom. Most ideas happen after boredom. Most reflection happens after boredom. Most self-awareness happens after boredom. But if every moment of boredom gets replaced with scrolling, those moments never arrive. The scary part isn't what you consumed, it's what you never gave your mind the opportunity to produce. Here's the twist. The phone was never the real problem. If it wasn't your phone, it would have been something else. The real issue was training. Every single night, your brain received instructions, not through words, through repetition. Your brain learned, stay stimulated, stay distracted, stay entertained, never sit still. And brains are incredibly obedient. They become whatever they repeatedly practice. Imagine lifting weights every day for 10 years. You wouldn't be surprised if your body changed. Now imagine training distraction every day for 10 years. Why would your mind stay the same? It wouldn't. It couldn't. Because adaptation is what brains do. The question was never whether your brain would change. The question was what you were training it to become. The good news is that the same system that created the problem can solve it. Because if repetition built the habit, repetition can rebuild the brain. Rule number 1, the phone does not sleep beside you. Not on the pillow, not under the pillow, not on the nightstand, across the room. Better yet, outside the room. Make access slightly harder. That's enough. Rule number 2, protect the final 30 minutes before sleep. No feeds, no endless scrolling, no algorithm deciding what enters your mind before bed. You choose, not the feed. Rule number 3, replace, don't remove. People fail because they create a vacuum. Fill the space with something, a book, journaling, planning tomorrow, thinking, anything that requires your attention rather than steals it. Rule number 4, learn to be bored again. This sounds ridiculous until you try it. Sit somewhere, do nothing. No music, no phone, no entertainment, just thoughts. At first it feels uncomfortable. Then something interesting happens. Your mind starts generating instead of consuming. Rule number 5, remember what you're actually protecting. This isn't about screen time. It's about your future mind. Every night you are casting a vote, not for who you are today, but for who you become tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes next year, and next year becomes a decade, and decades become a life. Right now, somewhere in the future, your 35-year-old self already exists as a possibility. The question is simple. What are you training your brain to become before you meet them? Because one day, that meeting will happen. And when it does, your habits will answer for you. See you in the next one.